亚裔青年领袖讲座分享成长心得。当地时间6月4日，由非营利组织美国中华艾滋基金会与美国中华爱心基金会主办的首届美国亚裔青少年计划青年领袖讲座在法拉盛举行，现场邀请纽约州众议员柳玉玲、艾美奖得主华裔记者张提华及前华策会总监王培与青年学子们分享成长历程与奋斗心得。美国亚裔青少年计划主席周燕霞表示，希望借此活动鼓励青少年在多元文化冲击逆境下转化为正能量，使其重新寻找自我生命价值并回馈社区。
的这个讲座呢，我们甚至父母的发言还比年轻人的发言还更多。那他们希望就是以这些专家的经验，他们作为父母应该如何作为一个成功的父母。所以基金会呢，将从第一次以后，将来不断的推出一些能够帮助青年学子在他们的人生的路程上成就领袖，然后更造就我们华裔或者是亚裔在美国的这个国土或者是在国际上能够都是一个非常有用、非常成就的一些人才。
China AIDS Fund 已经有15年的历史，头2个的 project 是这个计划是在中国，我们几年前就决定要在美国纽约呢举办我们的同一类的活动，来帮助美国的青少年培养新一代的领袖，帮助我们的社区。所以呢，我们就计划就做成这个新的这个计划，
一直就是努力下去啊。因为今天他们有一些就是得奖学金嘛，所以我就是欢迎他们，就是以后也是可以就是跟我们一起做政府的事情。
It's not enough to do well in life, one has to do good as well. And then in English, that's a particular phrase that I came up with, but what I'm trying to say is even if you become rich and famous, but if you don't help people, that's not really a good life.
在场的嘉宾向2016年论文比赛获奖学生颁发奖状和奖学金。IC 绿色电视剧工作室在法拉盛报道。
afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first Chinese American youth program, our youth leadership forum. Now, my name is Yan Chu. I'm the chairwoman of the Asian American Youth Program of the China Ed Fund, and I will be your MC for this afternoon. And we have been planning this programs for the past 6 months. And we're really expecting, this will cause a really big impact, for the community. But here, just standing here, watching all the young face, and we know, what, we are going to do the right things. The mission, is to provide a platform to encourage Asian American youth to speak out about their experience growing up at the intersections of the two cultures. The AAYP programs aim to help the youth turn their experience of the diversity and the adversity, into strengths and growth in self-awareness, and to become a part of a large community that inspire others to reach their full potential as leaders and thinkers. The 2017 Youth Leadership Forum, it's after the 2 years the program. We're starting with the writing essays contest. Even today, we are going to present a special award for the 2016 awardee, from last year. For the CAF leaderships. So let me introduce one by one, and later, at 3 o'clock, we're going to have a social hour. So don't forget, have the time talking to them, because each one of them, it will be your example. And hopefully, in the future, you just want to be one of them. So don't take the opportunity, just miss it, definitely take the time to speak to them. So first one I'm going to introduce is our founders and honorable chairwoman, that's Mona Su. Mona. And the second gentleman, I have to admire him so much, it's our chairman, Dr. Wei Liang. Liang 医师. Next person is our co-chairman, Dr. Jason Kwang. Hi, Jason. And with Dr. Kwang, then I have to mention next lady, because that's a lady also. Behind the thing is also up the front of the thing. That will be our attorneys, co-chairwoman Nala Choi. And next one will be our current president, is Dr. Vincent Wang, Wang Yuantong 医师. And next one, he has been helping us so much, sending out all the information. Each morning, we will be on the web chat, and I will reading his all the messages to sending out through the web chat. That will be Dr. Lee, Wei Song Lee. Dr. Lee. And we know we're here, not just all the doctors, right? We also have the Mrs. Liang, Liang 夫人也到了, yeah, welcome. And next one is also our very important board member. That's our Dr. K.C. Hung, 冯基成医生. Did you find out we have all the doctors on board? Yeah, next time we are not going to do forum. We're going to do the medical, right? Professional days.
No way.
No ways. Let me welcome our president of the China Ed Fund, Dr. Vincent Wang, to come up to the stage to make a welcome speech. Let's give her, giving the well round applause.
As the Association of Chinese American Physicians, so I think we should reserve these as purely for the leadership forums, and plus look at those doctors here. They're true leaders to introduce to you about China AIDS Fund. About 15 years ago, a group of business people and doctors, seeing this a very tremendous events, actually very bad event, horrible events in China, because of the unsterilized blood donations and selling blood. There's a county, village after village, county after county, young people who are young parents, most of them, attracted HIV, and some of them die from AIDS. And leaving behind them is a lot of orphans and kids. Some of them have HIV/AIDS, some don't. So this group of people in the East Coast of the United States, mostly successful business people, and one of them being our Honorable Chairwoman, Ms. Mona Soul, and Dr. Liang, and Mr. Charles Wang. He will be here as a guest speaker later. We established a organization called China AIDS Fund. AIDS means HIV/AIDS. They raise money every other year and year-round to try to establish some, and in the meantime, establish connection with China. And in Henan, one of the provinces that get hit the most by HIV/AIDS, and the world is a rapidly changing place, environment, and we do need a lot of leaders like some of you here, or all of you here, to make a difference. We welcome all of you to come today, join us for this first event, first forum of the Asian American Youth Leadership team. Welcome. Thank you.
So now I'm going to ask our first distinguished guest speaker. All right, let's have a Tiwa Chen. So, okay, come up to our panel. Welcome, Tiwa. Let me have our 2016 Ambassador Scholar winner, Miss Anna Liu. Okay, Anna Liu is going to come up and introduce our first speaker, Tiwa Chen. So, Anna, come up, please.
Mr. Tiwa Chen is an award-winning Chinese-American journalist and currently a freelance CBS News correspondent for its weekend evening news program, local New York board member of the Asian American Journalists Association. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Tiwa Chen.
This will probably be the last time this organization will invite me here, because I like to be very honest when I speak to young people. Because I find that a lot of older people will tell you what they think you should believe and not really tell you the truth. So I used to do the WNET program for 500 kids around the city, and I got invited back 5 years in a row. And I kept asking them, why did you keep inviting me? And the kids, he said, well, you're the #1 choice for the kids because you're so honest. For example, I told them I've tried cocaine, and that made people very upset. But when I did that, I told them that, some people can try drugs. And if you're young in this country, you're probably going to drink, you're probably going to try drugs. But some people can try drugs and never do it again. I tried it twice, never did it again because it was too expensive and I'm too cheap. And I realized I would watch people and I saw that it could destroy their lives. But some people can try drugs and do it once or twice and never do it again. And the other people in the same situation can try it and be stuck for the rest of their lives. It depends a lot on your personality and your circumstances. So for example, I suspect that most of you will go to college, since you're Asian American, and you'll probably drink in college. And I certainly did. But what I learned too was that a couple of my friends drank and drove and they died in freshman year. And so I realized that you can't drink and drive, that especially these days there are too many opportunities. Just let somebody else drive, make one person the designated driver. And I also learned that nowadays you can't binge drink. If someone wants you to start downing those beers and you pass 3 or 4 and you're not that big, you really should stop. And so I think those are the realities that I like to talk to young people about. Yeah, you're going to drink, you're probably going to try drugs, but be careful because there's a limit. And some people can try it and never do it again. Some people will be stuck for the rest of their lives and will completely take over their lives. Are you a success? In my mind, that's not a success. And I would hope you remember that. And in life, I hope you learn to take calculated risks. Don't just jump off the building, measure the distance, and then take the risk and do it. But remember, please, not enough to do well in life. You have to do good as well. Thanks a lot. Good luck.
Well, our beautiful second guest speakers are already arrived. And without further ado, I'm going to ask our next 2016 essay contest winner to come up, and introduce her. So let me introduce Mr. Adam Liu.
Ms. Liu is the first Asian American to represent New York's 61st district. This district is composed mostly of Asian Americans, 40% to be precise, and it composed of the Financial District, Battery Park City, Lower East Side, and Chinatown as an independent voice for Albany with a strong commitment to reform. Let's welcome Assemblywoman Yu-Lin Liu.
All right. Let's have all of the award winners stand up, actually. I want to see who all of you guys are. All right. Let's give them a round of applause. Now, I want you guys to sit down, and I want to have all of your parents and mentors stand up who are in the room. Let's give them a bigger round of applause. If you care about whether or not, somebody who's your neighbor who might not have food on the table next week will have SNAP benefits, then you care about public service. If you care whether or not Access-a-Ride outside is working for folks who need it, then you care about public service. If you care whether or not, the roads are smooth enough for seniors to use their walkers on, then you care about public service. All of these issues are things that we work on the state level. These are all issues that we care about. Every single time I remember, working for Assemblymember Ron Kim right across the street at Queens Crossing, every single day we had 60 to 120 constituents waiting outside our door. Even if it's just to read mail, even if it's just asking for directions, they needed somebody who could speak their language. They needed somebody who could understand where they were coming from. They needed somebody just to listen to their stories. And it takes a lot to make sure that folks are treated with dignity, treated with respect, and we were the only Asian American office in the entire state legislature. So you can imagine how many people came from all over the state. Some people even came from New Jersey and Florida, and I was like, you are in the wrong state. But they needed help, right? And they needed to go somewhere that they knew where their friends were going to get help. So that's why it's so important to make sure that we have the kind of representation that we deserve on every single level of government. We continue to provide more access. I'm here. Mentorship is the biggest form of opportunity giving, and it is the biggest way that we can make a difference. It is the biggest pathway to change. So I hope that you guys will all take me up on my offer and make sure that you are all involved in your public service. So thank you.
Thank you, Assemblywoman. That's really something. Thank you for bringing all the secrets from the Albany. Our next speaker, as a right, is our respected, the board member, is also our founders, and all the honorable chairmen, Dr. Mr. Charles Wentz. So now I'm going to ask our 2016 ambassadors, scholarship winner. That's Queenie. We're going to ask Queenie to come and introduce this very special person.
My name is Queenie Tang, and I am very pleased to introduce one of our speakers, Mr. Charles Pei Wong. So Mr. Charles Pei Wong is the president of the Chinese American Cultural and Arts Association, a New York-based nonprofit NGO specialized in promoting and bridging two-way culture between the exchange of U.S. and China. Mr. Wong is also the founder and honorary chairman of China AIDS Fund. So without further ado, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Charles Pei Wong.
The first discriminatory act approved by U.S. Congress expelling and excluding and not permitting Chinese from coming into the U.S. anymore. So after 1882, almost 40 different legislation passed in Congress, prohibiting us from becoming citizens, We have no right to purchase house. We have no right to enjoy the judiciary protection under the law. Anyone can, literally speaking, kill a Chinese person and not to worry about being prosecuted. So, wave of violence against Chinese ever since 1882. You can see the document that has actually printed and published by many, many books. When I come back and count my receipt, right? So it was really a phenomenon, particularly in Hong Kong. One of the richest men who owns the duty-free shop, I know some of you may know, right? He pledged 250,000, and then Run Shaw gave me hundreds of thousands. So all those big names in Hong Kong responded, and that helped to save China Institute and make China Institute today even a stronger organization. So while I just use this final minute to, while I was at China Institute, and I find that I'm very, very lonely. When I venture into the U.S.-China relations arena, very important. But on the other hand, when you look at the scenery in those days, I was the only one, Chinese American. Most of the so-called China experts are Caucasians. They are professors, scholars from Harvard, from Yale, but very, very unfortunately not a single Chinese. So I started to help to form a number of organizations along the same kind of a spirit to promote, to give our Chinese Americans a chance to participate. Started with the Committee of 100, started with the Federation of Asian Americans in New York City, started with the International Chinese Immigrant Social Service Federation. So with all those different kinds of organizations, plus all the involvement I had, that I was able to make a few contributions along that way. So to that extent, I think if you persist, you succeed. Like in my case, I ventured into services in the Chinese community as an accident, but I come out not so much as a, shall we say, a hero, but at least a pioneer, that I made it possible for what did happen today. So on that note, thank you very, very much for the opportunity.
Well, at this point, our three, distinguished guests already finished their remark speech. So let's give them a well-round applause.
Columbia, I was a biostatistics major, and all the other people were reporters before. And I thought, oh my God, they're so good, I can't do this. And then I found out that I could do TV. So I ended up doing TV. So it's not really a good answer. So in other words, I basically kind of, as Charles said, accidentally found my way going along, sort of, it's not just, what you planned, it's also just dumb luck sometimes, or just an accident. Something happens and you end up in a career.
I know Assemblywoman have the heading to the Albany, but I'm going to hold you for another 10 minutes because now it's the time we call Q&A, because I guess this is the most highlights part. We want to open the floor to the audience, especially we have high school kids here, we have college students, and even we have a group of students that they are from the Hong Kong and from the Singapore. They are study abroad here, they have an internship here, so they must have some question about each one of you, or each one of the success of your story. And of course, including all the parents, okay, including all the board members who want to be a public officer, right? So we're going to ask the question. So we're going to open the floor to all the audience. Any question you may ask. You cannot be shy to be a leader. You cannot be shy. And I have the microphones ready on the side. Yes, Sunny. Sunny, can you come up? So, okay, there's a microphone so they can hear your questions very clearly. Thank you, Senator T.Y.
Question for Mr. Cheng. What made you choose journalism rather than any other form of literature, like fiction or just story writing?
An ex-fiance wanted me to be a lawyer, and I didn't want to be a lawyer, so then I applied to Columbia. And when I got to Columbia, I was a biostatistics major, and all the other people were reporters before. And I thought, oh my God, they're so good, I can't do this. And then I found out that I could do TV. So I ended up doing TV. So it's not really a good answer. So in other words, I basically kind of, as Charles said, accidentally found my way going along, sort of, it's not just, what you planned, it's also just dumb luck sometimes, or just an accident. Something happens and you end up in a career that you didn't plan on at all. Certainly it wasn't a career my parents wanted me to follow.
So I was just wondering, what experience made you want to go into public policy?
It's a really good question. So I actually started working in public policy actually as a college intern. So I was only 17 years old at the time, and for me, I realized little by little there were so many things that stacked up. My mom was actually in a car accident when I was in middle school or high school-ish, and she was rear-ended in a school zone, and it was obvious that it was the other guy's fault. He was speeding, he was going downhill in a school zone, she was waiting to turn, all of the things. And the insurance companies somehow still deemed her partially negligent just because his English was better. And so those little things angered me. There were so many things that stacked up. And I think that more and more I saw, people who weren't having access to services because of language barriers, people who, I knew that, weren't getting the services that they deserved because they didn't know who to ask. And even my own grandma, when, we were trying to get her home care, just little things, right? They stack up. And I realized that, I wanted to figure out how the system worked in order to upend it. I wanted to figure it out. But when I got to the state legislature, I realized, as an intern, I saw that anybody could walk into a legislative office. Anybody could write a letter to their legislator. Anybody could call in. And these were the people that, we answered to. And so what I was saying before about government, being totally accessible, that's what I meant. It's really, the big secret is that there's only certain people who actually make the noise. And, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, right, gets the grease. And so it's really important to make sure that we're making noise as a community, as a group of folks. And, that's kind of what got me into it.
Question can be for anybody. I noticed that all three of you during your talks mentioned stereotypes against Asian Americans. And I think there's a certain point where it's easier to kind of fall into the stereotype than to constantly defy it. So I guess the question would be, at what point is it, okay to just almost balance that staying defiant and kind of turning these stereotypes upside down, but also almost just living your life, I guess?
While I was running, there was a lot of things that kind of came at me, right? People were saying things that are completely based even on racism or sexism, right? I mean, one of the things that people kept on saying to me was that I was too young. People would say, oh, well, you're too young, or, you should get married first, or you should, cut your hair and wear shorter heels or wear taller heels, but what I realized is that the biggest thing is to firmly believe in yourself. And you do have, like you were saying, the most important thing probably is to just be yourself, right? And not care about the stereotypes. Because right now, I can say that I have a bill right now on data disaggregation. Ron held it for several years, and I'm holding it now, but it is to really upend those stereotypes. Asian Americans are the fastest growing minority group in New York.
It began with two people meeting in Los Angeles, Bill Singh from the Los Angeles Times and Trisha Toyota from KCBS, saying, we don't have an Asian American Journalism Association, and that's where it started. And now that organization has major impact on major American media. Because we got organized and because we became a group, that gave us the power to deal with those stereotypes. Because recognizing that, again, that it comes from racism and ultimately economic and class oppression. So that was how I dealt with it over the years, basically to fight it. But fighting.
Particularly right now, the social media, the media is so rich, and phones, internet. I have a question for Mr. Chen. How do you deal with the kids that are playing video games? I mean, I don't want to insult anybody, including right? Anybody play video game or whatever whatsoever. But the time you spend on video games, as a parent, right? You study. You have how to get your study performance on school. So how do parents train well?
My son's 13, my daughter's 10, and they spend a lot of time on social media and on their phones, and well, my daughter doesn't have a phone yet, but on the laptops. The way I deal with it is I just tell them, okay, I'm going to give you 1 to 2 hours a day, and then I'm going to take your phone away, or and I just basically I never hit my kids, and all I would do is say I found that either putting them in the corner when they're little, or counting to 5 and removing privileges. When you tell your 13-year-old son, when I tell my 13-year-old son, I'm taking your phone away, everything stops, because I said, remember, I pay the bill, so I can take your phone away, I can shut it off. And as soon as I tell him that, then he listens to me. But I'm reasonable about it. I don't say no phone, I say 1 to 2 hours a day. But then, and I check on him too, because if I see a light under his door, I know he's got the phone on even though it's midnight, and I'll go in and say, give me your phone. And if he does it 2 days in a row, I say, okay, and I'm going to take it for a week. So after a while, but I'm reasonable about it, 1 to 2 hours. On the other hand, I have to tell you about video games. I always thought video games, I don't like video games personally. They make me really tense, so I don't play video games. But then I noticed that, the people who fly the drones, they all played video games before. And now people who play video games win $100,000 in contests. So I don't want to tell you, don't let your son or daughter play video games and they turn out to be the video game champion of the world, making $1 million a year. So I want to balance that, because it's a changing world, and I think you just have to be reasonable about it.
It's pretty funny, my deputy chief of staff, he's only 21 years old. He's deputy chief of staff. Like, he is high up in the ranks, and he actually paid through college playing video games at NYU. Yeah. So I just want to put that out there. I think that, one of the things that I think Asian American parents, they want the best for their children. I think that that's always the case for most parents. Music lessons, things like that. I mean, it changed his life, and it changed who he was completely. Instead of like that pressure of, making it so that they did something that they didn't want, my little brother was able to blossom into a whole different person because he liked to do what he wanted to do, and he wanted to be able to be driven for the things that he was passionate about, and it was an outlet for him to be the very giving and thoughtful person that he is.
The 2 Harvard two Harvard dropout, the number 1 and number 3 in rank by the personal wealth, and also our own Lin Shuhao. Wow, he finished college at Harvard. But again, he was traded 5 times in 5 years in MBA, and he's still, suffering. So hasn't really totally made it yet. So this is where I just want to cite this a few examples for us to consider.
Well, we hear from the parent side. So now it's the turn for the kids. Yeah, come up, parents. See, today will be the debate, right? Here comes another parent. Welcome.
Surprised. I don't have the parents on my forehead. Right? Well, I saw the gentleman as a parent make some question. I didn't know parent can make question. So I'm sorry, young folks. I kind of take away some of your time. I'm a parent of one daughter. She just turned 23 years old, and she finished college. She followed her mother footsteps to become a fashion designer. Yeah. But somehow, this year I found out she's changing her thinking. It's just a little bit about 2 months ago. She told me personally, heart-to-heart talk. She said that I don't know why that I think that way. I feel that the society is certain people, certain group are underserved. There's certain things that the government are not doing right for the young people, and the young people is not getting what they want. They feel that she feels that she has to do something for her generation. So one time she even shot me. She joined all kind of rally lately, protests in the city. But a month ago there was a big one after Donald Trump, our president, was inaugurated. She went there. She wanted to join the Washington big protest. There was like over 250,000 people. As parents, I was shocked because me and my wife were never a helicopter parents. We never pushed her to be a doctor, to be anything. We feel that we should let her have a free mind to do what. So, I know a lot of young folks here. As parents, maybe we should have something that how to discuss with what.
If you remember in Chinese, we say 一子而教，以及而高. Right. So when we try to help our own children, because of the intimacy we have and all the relationship, he would resent and react negatively. But if you arrange for her to meet with uncle or other folks you would trust and ask them to have a conversation with her, I think she will be more relaxed, more objective, and then I think she'll help to come to her sense. Okay. I think this.
Yeah, I have over 300 plus young people who came out for the campaign, and it wasn't unusual because everybody, I think in the last couple of months especially, because of the election after the inauguration, people have had a feeling. The young people like to call it woke. People say that they woke up, right? They say we're woke. And it's something that is spreading across the nation, and I think that your daughter caught the bug. But I think it's a good thing. People should be aware of what's going on around them. People really should know what's going on in government, in the public eye, in journalism, what's happening. I think that my mom was very scared for me throughout my whole life. I always made the weirdest decisions, and when she talks about it, and you hear it in her voice. I picked a liberal arts college, and I chose to go into public service. And she said that you'll never make money. You know that you will always be poor. And she says in Chinese, she's like, 你很矛盾.
A round of applause. Thank you for their commitment and their time. Okay, so let's have Dr. Liang and Dr. Jason Kwok, okay, and Dr. Wang. So we're gonna present that to each one of you.
Can I have all the speaker and all our board members stay on the stage, and if Assemblywoman can stay just for a few minutes, because this is also a very important moment. We are going to give the award to the 2016 essay contest winner. Can I have the Sunny? Okay, Sunny is going to read all the names.
Nista Bade Trista. Anna Liu, a freshman at Hunter College and major in biology.
Give her the flag.
Adam Liu, sophomore at Rochester Institute of Technology and major in civil engineering. Kitri Sundaram, graduate of high school, Bronx High School of Science. She plans to attend Brown University and a major in political science. Queenie Tang, graduate of Stuyvesant High School, soon to attend Case Western Reserve University and major in pre-medical studies. Sophia Zhao, graduate of Bronx High School of Science. She plans to attend Yale University and major in political science.
Can I have the Mona? Mona. Here is money, scholarships, $1,000 each for each winner. This is what's more important. We're going to ask our founder and the chairwoman, honorable chairwoman, to give to them. Okay, so can go by them. Just call your name. Eden. Sophia. Kitri? Yes. Queenie? Use the money well. Use the $1,000 well. Here comes the 2016 essay contest winner with the $1,000. It's yours. So give to your parents. Thank you so much. And the other thing I want to announce is, starting today, we are going to launch the third year essay contest, okay, from now until September 22nd. And we have all the flyers ready. So on the way out, your parents, students, just take one of them. Take as many as you want. It's again, we're going to pick up 6 winners. The awards ceremony will be on in November, I hope, November, and again, it's $1,000 scholarships, and the topic will be what differentiates you from others as a great leader, or what does it mean to become a leader? You like to write essays, please do so. Or you like to do the microfilm, you like to do the drawing, you like the art piece. Any way can present you as related to this topic. So don't don't miss the opportunity, all right? And it's waiting for you. So that's, welcome. Thank you again for all the 2016 essays winner. Thank you.
Needs the young generation to pursue a career in journalism now. You think that stigma still exists?
But I would recommend, if you want to go into journalism, do something for YouTube or BuzzFeed, or do social media. Create be like Liza Kazi or whatever her name is, and Lily Singh. They get a million hits and stuff like that. They have more impact than any one reporter I know. Scott Pelley just got laid off. So if you wanted to do something along those lines, I recommend social media, because it's no longer the gatekeepers of the white Protestant male that's controlling who goes on TV or who gets in the press. With social media, they're no longer those gatekeepers.
Thank you, T. Watt. All right, so keep that in your mind. So at this point now, I'm going to bring up our chairman, Dr. Wei Liang, to give us the closing remark.
Okay, I know the time is tight. I'm going to be very brief. First, I want to thank our speakers for joining us today and give us a very inspirational speech of their own. I want to congratulate all the China AIDS Funds members for putting together a very successful event. I also want to remind everybody, in addition to the essay contest, we also have an annual trip to China to visit the children in China where there's HIV is very prominent. And I urge everyone in the audience here, parents and children, to try to register with us and join us with this trip, because you will find this a lifetime learning experience for all of you. Last but not least, I would like to congratulate every young children who are here today, because you already taken the first step by being here today to become successful in the future. Okay? Only the sky is your limit now. And look at yourself. You will be the next generation Bill Gates or Warren Buffett. Not that because I want to echo T.Wa's what he's saying earlier, not that because they're just successful in the business, but also learn from them to give back to the society. Thank you. I want to particularly thank you, Yan Chao, for putting this program together, and she has spent a lot of work on this.
I will take that compliment. It's a lot of work, I'm telling you. But here's okay. I'm going to invite you. If you want to keep us, in future, reference, make sure you have your information.